we saw on Fracture with, you know, dealing with that aggression early on, especially in the defensive side of Union, which was kind of just wait for them to push you. And it's something that teams have tried in the past. I think Double O Nation, certainly one of them. There was a point in time where Double O Nation like literally just did not move at all on their attacking side, and that was in the grand finals. So I wonder if Union, or apologies, M80 will try and switch up in that aspect. It doesn't look like it here with a 5-stinger buy though.
Yeah, they gotta go quick and in a pack. They really want to make this successful, all 4.
And just look how early this rotate is from Union. Like, literally instantly as soon as they set up Askia.
It's going to be the first deep contact from Gutu. It's going to give even more opportunity for these players on A to potentially reposition. But it's actually going to be a big take here from M80. They end up going for the null command. Rafa, he ends up getting pinched up, but NTK still picking away. But Rafa doesn't pick up a single kill. That's an advantage for M80.
And Pank, all he needs is 1 kill here. They double swing. That's beautiful.
Almost a double kill there for Pank, though, but they knew the risk. Askia now in a 1v2. And he has the knives. He has exactly what he needs to potentially take this one back. He doesn't have the positioning, though. He's going to get pinged through the smoke, dashes away. Spike is right in front of these players, too. Running out of space, running out of time. The knives are able to pick up one, but not the other. And M80, the Stingers end up doing the job.
Yeah, certainly a much faster round from M80. Just 4-manning it straight down and towards Art, catching Goo off guard, who definitely was hoping to use that single star in towards Art, but just not given the time of day to get it popped. Yeah, you can see as well. He tries to back away after that first kill, but a quick spray with those Stingers, and this was M80, I think, doing a really good job in these team fights. Double swinging together here through basically the nade as well. Like, it's a 1 pick away, and I don't think you expect that whatsoever if you are the Union.
Let's go!
And a big spin around with a 5-stinger buy. They have made it work. No reset on the Union, but this is a massive round for both of these teams.
You can see the pressure, see the switch up from Union.
And the ults here as well, gonna play a big factor here.
Goo all the way up front. Don't think they've spotted him. They might have heard him though. Steps up and he goes down.
And that is the change that I was talking about, expecting that maybe M80 sit back a little bit deeper. And you can see as well the position, and Quality was taking an op to try and counter if Askia was gonna go up towards being long again. There hasn't been aggression towards A main really from the Union, so that's why we just see the turret there instead. But it has been mainly a focus towards B and mid, which M80 were fully prepared for in this round. Oh, I love that. Look at that. Qualanoob getting tagged by the knife. And Union begin to immediately swing players over to this B site.
Get out of my way!
It's the false alarm though.
Yes.
They knew that there were players over in mid, but not this many potentially.
We had to see Askia here in the backside with the op, but this time he's got it. Has a dash as well.
30 seconds left.
Askia, like you said, with a little bit of util, doesn't have the dash anymore, though fully suppressed. He's able to back away, and a Hunter's Fury is just gonna chunk the clock a little bit more too. 20 seconds left. Pank even has the lockdown, and he utilizes it right on time. Rafa up front, able to pick down the one. You still have Nismo over in pit. Askia might be swinging right into him. No, he's actually over, back into sight. Pank picks up the other one. EU does swing in and picks down Rafa, but the lockdown again does lock him down. NTK Pank had no chance. The Cosmic Divide made the job just that much difficult.
And that sucks so much. Rafa, I think misclicking, maybe the pressure of land gets to him. I mean, they've been here before, but Rafa jumping, I think if he gets that kill, then M80 aren't going to be as eager to push back into sight, because as soon as Rafa goes down, there's a triple swing from A main that wins them the round. M80, again, extremely effective on their attacking side. A 90% post-plant win rate. And it's moments like that where they're fighting together in A main that wins them rounds like that. That will reset Union.
Now they're forced to go, again for that aggressive play style, over towards long. Askia looking to trade out his teammate.
Brilliant. That is brilliant. Expecting as well that Askia was going to be there, because that's the guy that's aggressive towards B long.
I need to stop.
Now just a one-shot potential. All you got to do is hold on to the angle. Stuff from M80, picking up the aggressive, the attacking op. A rare op at that, but here on Pearl, like you said earlier, a lot of long angles where that is possible. Union isolated going into the retake.
John QT getting the ults just as an extra stop in the next round. That last round was the big ult cycle round, and a lot of ones used there by Union. The Hunter's Fury and the lockdown. I can't remember if Rafa used the null command, but M80 will have a couple of theirs. Hunter's Fear in the lockdown moving forward. There's not a lot of damage that will be done here by the Union, but M80 off of that timeout making some pretty exceptional and necessary changes. Again, just watching for aggression. Ready for it was Koala Noob alongside Xander. This time towards B long, and in the last one we saw it towards mid, so M80 are getting a pretty good feel of how they need to play this map. And the thing is that map, okay, there's a little bit of damage. I should be quiet here for a second. That is actually a lot of damage, but I think the economy's fine.
Yeah.
I hope the economy's fine.
Yeah, not exactly safe, but fine. Fine for now. M80 stepping up into the next round. They found at least a little bit more success here in actually trying to bait Union into these peaks. Like you said earlier, they're not exactly predisposed to be going in for those A main peaks, and the B long peaks have largely gone away in the last few rounds other than the eco.
And again, touching back on that, the point I was just trying to make before these 3 players died.
He's disappointed over that.
Love hearing Gianni in the back, but attack timeout here for Union, and I think they're going to discuss again. I'm finally going to get this point out. The fracture and what Roy said on the desk was the 4 different lanes that M80 were going to have to deal with when it came to aggression. Right? It's like unpredictable, basically, from the Union. They could switch it up whenever they wanted. Those arcade plays were deadly. I mean, they were even pushing towards Dish. At times, it became difficult for M80 to kind of lean into the fact that, hey, Union are going to play aggressive, but where do we put our players? On this map, it's simple. Like, there's like 3 lanes, and they're not doing anything towards A main. You can focus, and you've expected already and seen the multiple times that ASCENSION walks down B long. You've seen a handful of times peeks out towards mid. M80 have got a pretty good hold on this map purely because there's not as many attacking points.
And the main thing is that it's been consistent for the last few rounds. M80 were trying multiple different things back over on Fracture, multiple different things in the first few rounds of this half. But M80 have gone now to a bit of consistency, always maintaining a contact back over in towards A main, deep B main peak, and of course presence over towards mid.
So Rafa does have his null command. And M80 have gone aggressive, actually out towards mid off of the timeout from Union, expecting maybe a switch up. ASCENSION does have the op towards B long, but look at this 4-man stack. Again, ASCENSION just getting so much information here. And Union are so good at denying space to M80. And look at NTK.
This is the conditioning. NTK never here, and Xander's just gonna get shocked.
And that's the smoke's gone.
Now they still have to rush in though. Goo, he might be the only one that might have some util here to try to hold this back. NTK, he can't do anything about this. Lockdown right in their faces unless Rafa has a hero play. Armbot into space though.
Not getting it. Johnny KT risking a huge swing here, but there's still so much space from the side of NTK, and they're fighting in back spawn. Goo has caught another. They tried to punish Pank, who got caught.
And the Hunter's Fury going in at the same time. The man had to dance to do that. A 2v5 now, after what seemed to be such a clean take from M80. ASCENSION has the shoulder peek, now currently from EU. EU does take a little bit of damage.
30 seconds left.
Still alive, looking for the peek in mid, and at least giving his team a bit of a platform.
20 seconds left. I don't think this one is even possible for M80 at this point. They're going to be funneling into the operator here if they try and go B.
Right.
15 seconds left. They'll need this kill. They'll need to sprint, but they are just going to save the guns they have.
10 seconds
Koala
left.
Noob will be able to get the op again if he wants to duel against ASCENSION in that aspect. But what a hold from Union. The control they had towards B long set themselves up for a 4-player stack, and this was just such a one-dimensional exec from M80. They lost their smokes player in Xander due to NTK's lurk. That's, again, the first time we've seen aggression at all in A main. The switch up off the timeout, M80 weren't ready for it. And taking down your smokes player, you can see the risks that M80 had to make. Like, John QT just dry peaks in putting that alarm bot down. That's such a risky play. But you have no smokes, you have to make those kinds of risks.
Very deep risk, but again, with the Hunter's Fury, it almost seemed like it was safe. Going on into the next, it's op v up finally. Both teams getting it. The A main pressure from Union from the last round is actually continuing.
Look at that, breaking the util. That's a switch up. I think they're trying to draw and keep players on B because they saw the 4-player stack, but now that you've broken that alarm bot and that nanostorm combo, you have to keep players committed towards B link.
Like you said, Union Forced to post up 2 here.
Yeah,
It's Rafa
I think
alongside Pank.
they're expecting a much faster play from M80 towards mid, which is why they put 2.
Watch out for Askia, the op v op.
And he's got a smoke as well to dash into after this.
And a couple of players. Flash is 2. Not exactly an issue here for Askia. He just needs to nail the first shot. He doesn't. Not given a clean opportunity. Backs up into sight, but still plenty of positions here for him to go off.
You've got the null command here as well for Rafa. That's a great knife. 4 players tagged. 45 seconds left. He's even buying more time with his null command getting popped.
And M80 they just continue getting held up back up towards that long side. There's still a Cosmic Divide available here for the Union too. 35 seconds left. They somehow need to run for the hills.
They're pivoting in towards one player, NTK, and he's got a Hunter's Fury. He backs away.
30 seconds left.
There's a knife here for Nismo, but I don't think he's going to be able to tag NTK. There's so many spots he can play with this Hunter's Fury.
The rotation is here too.
Oh, this is
Pank
ridiculous.
right behind him.
He sits Insight instead.
Oh, the Recon Bolt is still going to catch them. Doesn't matter about the Cosmic Divide.
15.
Hunter's Fury could go off at any point, and Pank is still holding it down. Goo, same
10
thing.
seconds left.
EU and Koala Noob, they're not even going to force the Hunter's Fury to come out. It's going to be a clean round coming out from Union.
Not a chance that M80 were winning this round. After that knife tagging 4 players, and I could see immediately Rafa was going to layer and pop immediately the null command. There was no chance you make a push into the B site with no util, and no smokes as well. Xander got caught in the null command because of where it was popped. And to run into the A site completely blind, NTK shutting Xander down and committing to a site fight instead. A lot of players in that instance just run and play for the Hunter's Fury, not the Union and not NTK. He sticks around to maintain control.
They want Koala Noob to get a little bit more active. Tossing the op now down to Xander. Here comes the aggression once again early on from the Union. Early peek over towards that mid side. It's just a contact from Pank. NTK continues the trend from the last 2 rounds. Goes right up into A main. And this is so dangerous from the Union. No matter where you look on this map, look at the crossfire B.
And they will give Quad Noob the operator back. They've pulled the star away here. And A main, so much noise. NTK getting aggressive, gets info.
Full command right behind him, needs to run for the hills. Union holding down whatever they can. NTK and Goose do get 2. But NTK still in the back, still with a couple of opportunities to get some headshots. But it's Rafa instead to try to help him out as his teammate goes down. Still has a couple more to go, but not able to get any more. Askia 1v3.
One of the first times we're going to see this guy in the clutch opportunity. Should be good for 1.
Ooh, the quick scope from Askia.
And he catches maybe?
Almost.
He does!
Xander and Askia in a 1v1. It's all Askia now. He's already picked away 2. The young man with the biggest play yet potentially of his career. Xander playing Ring Around the Rosie. Askia not able to find a pixel! And it is Xander who shows the veteran mentality, waits for the peak from Askia, and picks up the round for M80.
Yeah, I had just a feeling that Askia was going to win that one. Xander, I think, very lucky that Askia, I think, almost had this peak initially, and then he backed away. I just don't think he was ready for the re-swing into it, but M80, very fortunate. I mean, look how committed NTK is here again. A lot of Silvers are just running away from the null command. Like, you go deep into spawn, the null command's not going to reach you, and you can pop the Hunter's Fury. But he sticks around, and I think that's what cost him this one. M80 punishing the backside control attempt from the Union.
Yet another early shock dart.
I love that.
It's not picking up the util though, but Hunter's Fury extremely early.
Switching up the KJ setup in preparation for that shock dart. They put a turret there instead.
All of the util is still alive. Alarm bot turret. Lots of pressure here from Xander.
He's just showing presence. Flash from Nismo. Seeing if they could punish anyone peeking aggressive. This is a Union look that has switched up drastically. It's no longer Askia getting aggressive towards B long. He's just going to support Rafa here. A bait and switch setup. A one-time setup that we saw last round. Wasn't used then and probably won't be used here.
You are divided.
These stars are actually... Oh, no! I was about to say the stars could do so much, but it is Nismo with the op to pick down the util from the Astra. And Koala Noob capitalizes on NTK. 2-man advantage for M80. I don't know about potentially the man already making his way up. Oh, no, but Pank gets absolutely exposed. The frag in his face, forced to move away, and Koala Noob might have a bit of a gift here. 1 kill, and potentially another one for free. 18 HP left on Pank, and M80. They have truly put their stamp of approval on this half. What an ending.
A lot closer of a half than what we're
Switching
used to seeing
sides.
with their 9-3s and 10-2s, but they've gotten it done. A lead going into this second half, something they didn't have on Fracture. And now the Union on their attacking side. Again, this is not a map that we've seen Union play all that often, but they still keep that aggressive semblance that we saw on Fracture. And it was up to M80 in the later parts of that first half. It was after the timeout that had to make a drastic switch in their game plan, which was sitting back and waiting. And you could see the battle of the minds between these two teams, both teams making adjustments in their offensive and defensive setups. Now the Union on attack. They play, again, a simple game of Valorant, an aggressive game of Valorant, overwhelming their opponents. And there will be a 3-man posture towards this B side. I think a fake with a knife here more than likely from Rafa. Yeah, who has just sent it deep in towards Art, and a full contact walk out mid and B main.
Look at this wrap up from M80. They could be able to trap some of these players who do make their way into mid. 3 players in Art. But Pank, he feels the pressure, backs on out, and there's nobody here on B to hold down the take. M80 do have at least 1 single player on this site. It's just John QT. But again, so many heads on a swivel right now. They have no idea about mid. And look at this positioning in Art.
There's a Pank, yeah, a flank all the way around. And Union given time to set up in the post plant. They save so much util on that exec for a situation like this. They've got a Gravwell, Nanoswarm in rotation, and double shocks.
And everyone from Union just avoiding any sort of interaction to wait for Pank. Now here it comes. Askia not able to pick down John QT. Good swing. Here comes the defuse. Will the shock dart be able to do anything? The pull does something, and Pank and Rafa finally step up. The flank comes up big, and the shocks combine. Union overwhelm M80, but again, the cherry on top was that flank.
Again, a phenomenal post plan from the Union. I'll continue to sing their praises of how they play these post plans. You give them like 5-10 seconds to set up, that's enough time to win out the round. And when you give them a second to think about it, that's where the Union really shine, is these post plans. Again, 70% win rate across all 7 maps. And this is a perfect display. They buy time and they combo that Gravel and Shock Dart so well. So you're guaranteed to get so much damage in a pistol round where it's probably at most light armor, or that is the only thing you can buy really. You're gonna get so much in value off of a single shock. And that's what they got there. M80 will not expect aggression in this round, but you should expect a lot of those contact plays. On a 2-laned map, that's where Union will pull out these like passive and progressive offensive setups.
Union are just trying to safely...
Bro's lurking again, but it's instead the star duelist.
I was gonna say, is he trying to actually like make a contact into A? But this flank might be absolutely insane. All they had to do was take down 1 player, actually take down the site. M80, whatever chance they think they have in this round, it's about to absolutely evaporate.
They actually stuck the plan here. I thought for a second NTK was gonna get off the spike and see if he can help support his teammates.
Wait a minute. Ooh, with only a sheriff. And he makes the sheriff work at least for 1, but still a 3v3. Rafa needing to run. But the off angle from Askia works out for the 1. And it works out essentially for the round. He gets the information on the second. His teammate wins the battle over and long. So Union, again, a little bit of sweat off their brow. They're able to make their way safely out of the second round.
Yeah, 2 rounds where they've exploited this KJ setup and the fact that there is no like Sentinel lurk setup over on A. I mean, it was Pank before, this time it was Askia in the last round. Rifles out here for M80 finally. And it will be something that they have to keep note of, is you've had 2 rounds in a row where there's been a flank, and keep an eye out for where those players are going to set themselves up for to catch those kind of lurks, and whether or not Union will run those again.
Union now pulling out a bit of that aggressive look. It's 4 players pulled up in a pack, back over towards A main. M80, what do they have to actually stop this? It's Xander around the corner, a little bit of KJ util in front of them. That's just about it, at least in terms of the damage. Here comes Xander, finally swinging, and finally able to get one. EU holding it down from Pit, should be an easy trade. Nismo, however, with the full HP, can't get anything done.
Look at the pathing that ASCENSION took over towards Art to set up for this post
One
land.
enemy remaining.
It's pretty much all over, though. ASCENSION almost getting himself into a prime position. But wait a minute. The Pink Panic coming in now in a 1v2. M80 double swinging. And it does work out at the very end. M80 pulling back the lead.
Yeah, the respect to they probably were like, okay, hold on, 3, 2, 1, let's swing them together. The respect given to this Union team by M80. Great round though from M80 overall. Like 2 players between EU and Xander, just both sitting, I think, towards dugout in like flowers. I think no, I think it was over towards both players were towards dugout. And then a great flash from Nismo to support and assist. It's M80 that did a good job here of maintaining that backside control and really giving no room for this Union team to set up. Again, that's one of the strengths that Union have is you give them like 5 seconds to set up on a post plan, and the round, they're more than likely going to win it. This time, no, M80 don't give them that breathing room.
It's the idea here for the Union. Going back to their spread attack once again. Lots of pressure back over towards that mid side, but they don't have any util to clear out this KJ util.
It's a progressive attacking side setup from Union, and what I mean by that is, yes, they're a very aggressive team, and my sentiment kind of still remains that they don't really set up for fakes. They will contact their way in, you know, be very quiet, show presence. Jesus, what a shot! Gooch is decimating Koala Noob, and that's going to weaken this defense so much.
Now, it's the old man instead, right behind him, Nismo, trying to pull up, trying to cook something up. Indeed, he picks up one. A couple more players to go, but that shock puts him all the way down to 10 HP. The rest of M80, they might be contemplating a bit of a save.
I don't think you save if you're Xander. Maybe the other two should definitely consider this save here. And we're gotten to a point again where the ult cycle comes back online for these two teams. Like, Pank has got his, NTK will have 100's Fury. EU getting close, same with John QT. This next round, off of this save from M80, they can muster a buy. I don't remember Koala Noob's ult status on his knives, but we'll certainly have a pretty decent buy, and it's going to be a big round for M80 in particular, who will need this next round to keep themselves economically up and to, again, keep the ult cycle in their favor. As we are tied up 8-8 again. The Titans of Brazil and the Kings of North America have put on a show. Not many times do we see M80 Gus in 1-0 definite situations.
No, and I mean, very early on in the season, very early on in the year, I kind of did expect that from both M80 and the Union. They did drop a couple of cardiac maps, but in split number 2, both teams have been pretty much invictus.
Placing sentry.
Pank will have the lockdown
Placing swarm grenade.
to work with. Again, NTK, keep an eye on that Hunter's Fury. Keep an eye on this M80 aggression. This is a little bit different, similar to what the Union were running. They've left a blank setup in towards B mid here this time around. And that recon bolt's going to give the info that there's literally no one there. Will they try to exploit that?
They don't even step up into it. They're collecting everyone back over towards B.
Oh,
The
flash missed!
No, the flash misses out, and ASCENSION punishes. Both on a silver platter for ASCENSION. After the flash goes awry, there's still one more player in the back of the site that could be able to delay, because look at the rotation.
Yeah, there's NTK getting onto the ult orb as well. Hunter's Fury online. This one feels very, very out of the depth of M80. They've got 3 players here. Again, Union are not a team to fake at all. So they're committing to this site with Rafa on a lurk. And M80 are pretty aware of that. You just saw Xander peek into his own smoke, or apologies, the Union smoke towards B-Link.
John QT getting pressured out. Is Nismo gonna get detained? He's gonna stay in this corner detained. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. John QT takes down the one. Are they hunting still for Nismo? Indeed, they check the corner. Thankfully, they do. John QT and Xander looking to somehow make something out of this. It's 2v4.
He's got a lockdown to work with as well. He can get space.
Rafa going in with a knife, though. Shuts down now Xander, who needs to pick up a rifle. He still has the shotgun from the last round. He has to pull up a classic. Give himself some sort of a chance. It's just a bit of a disaster. Union back on top.
And And that sucks so much that flash missed. It gave Askia the opportunity to push on too. I really don't think that you expected Noob to go down like that, and then Askia just full committing to this fight. Yeah, that flash, Askia hugging the corner. And this time it was the Union ready for aggression. There's again that like progressive contact style where as soon as Union are given a pick, that's when they'll make the exec happen. And despite having all three players here, M80 really stood no chance with the ults that I think the Union had lined up. And a timeout called again by M80. It's again not a theme that we see all that often. Is an M80 team with, you know, despaired looks across all 5 of these players. They came in with confidence and they've definitely met their match in a team like the Union.
And again, this whole scenario, very out of their realm. They haven't been on land. They haven't had this sort of direct communication potentially with their coach in this sort of LAN environment, trying to calm down some of these nerves.
Yeah, they actually have never been like in the same room as Happy, by the way. Like he was, I think, coaching from EMEA, I'm pretty sure. Like there was a tweet that's like, bro, I have like a...
I think there was maybe 1 or 2 times where they had maybe boot camped, but never in an actual big league situation against a team like Union, for sure.
I don't know. It's the first time, I'm pretty sure, because he said like an 18-hour flight and, you know, visa issues getting into the US for something like this, but... Despite, you know, this being a group stage and it's kind of essentially proceeding for playoffs, there's still a lot on the line for both these two teams. Like, it's specifically M80, it's getting momentum in an event like this. For a lot of these players, it's the first time they're on this stage, specifically Noob I'm talking about.
Noob pretty looking to pressure out the scenario.
W recon Bolton, like 4 players from Union just sprayed back through his smoke.
Not a single player going down, though, but still. Close but no cigar, but still. M80 have actually wrapped the entirety of Union back over towards their spawn, and this has just led them into a bit of a panic. Not seeing anything in mid, not seeing anything over and long. They repositioned themselves back over towards Art, expecting a reposition.
It'll just be Union, I think, rolling into this site here. M80 have recognized that, okay, there might be some players, 3 players come back towards Art, but I would be surprised if M80 could pull this one off. Like, they've got
for sure
2 Ghosts and a Stinger here to fight on this site, or probably just a Ghost and a Stinger.
John QT still has his lockdown and he's making his way over towards site fairly quickly. But you said Union don't set up for fakes.
Wow, they're doing it here for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen.
How successful is it?
I think it will work pretty dang well here, because look at M80, even they weren't expecting a fake of this caliber.
30 seconds left, though. John QT might be in a perfect position for this lockdown.
Does he get it in time? And the question is, do you use it without your teammates ready? Look at this, what the heck, M80? They just swung back towards A for a second.
Almost. They thought about it for a quick second.
Now
There goes
the
Xander.
lockdown.
With the Marshall of all things picking down Askia, and there goes finally the
10
lockdown.
seconds.
This is so much pressure on Union, but Rafa just looking to wrap before the spike can finally go down. John QT looking to capitalize. Lockdown finally destroyed. Union, however, with 0 chance to get their way into sight. M80, lockdown, and Cosmic Divide was everything they needed to pick up an eBay Thrifty.
1 kill from Xander is what set up that lockdown. I was thinking, okay, if you get a kill, you use it, but without your teammates, you really don't want to use it there. And that 1 kill from Xander, instant pop from John QT with that lockdown, and that is why Union don't do fakes, by the way, because they never give themselves enough time in exec situations like that. So we're tied up once more. The ult cycle still in favor here of the Union. They're closer to a lot of their ultimates than M80 are at this point in time. The Hunter's Fury, at least for M80. NTK popping his in the last, not able to break the lockdown, though.
Oh, it's so quick here, though, from Union. We haven't seen this sort of look from them in A main. M80 not exactly scrambling. Instead, actually, they're brave. Look at this positioning from Noob. He has to back out because of the Owl drone. There goes the null command. Here comes Askia from up top. Noob not able to do anything with it, but the rotation from M80 is so quick. But Goo on top of his game, able to get 2 out of this, and Askia.
What is he doing?
He's doing the exact same.
Literally just running around and finding a ridiculous amount of entries. Like, he definitely could have had the first one on site when he was on top of the hut. But Union just off of the last round, like, nah, no more fakes. Like, that's why we don't do fakes. Just full hit of sight. And Askia leading the charge again. He's a guy that continues to look for just more and more after being fed 1 kill. And he did that exactly, immediately trading his team. Again, Union playing a perfect game of, again, their team coordination. And you'll see how much post-plant util they have left over. Like a turret set up for the egg, for the post plant, 2 stars for Goo, NTK with nearly a full kit, by the way, and Askia, and I imagine Rafa probably had as well a plethora of util as well. It's a Union team that don't need these like crazy execs to get into sight. They'll save it for the post plant, and why they're so successful in post is because, well, first of all, they're great when it comes to trading one another, but also they just have so much util in those post plant situations.
I mean, it's so overwhelming. Time keeps ticking off the clock. You're stuck behind 1 or 2 pieces of util. It's just becomes so annoying. It's so easy to make mistakes in that sort of scenario, to peek out and try to be a hero. M80, feeling the pressure, feeling the pain here from Union. They're going down to a bit of a half buy, a bit of an eco, essentially, in a round where Union needs 1 more to get to 11. It's going to be 2 players on the front side for M80. Koala Noob could actually do a whole lot here in A main, especially with a bit of that utility, a bit of that information too. Knife coming out, and looking out over in B long.
Star just got popped in art, I believe, from Goo. He just brought it back. Forced Koala Noob to come back and peek. That's a big kill from EU for sure. To give man advantage now to M80, but Union have got like a crazy 35% 4v5 win rate because they're so good at team fights. That's a very well-placed Hunter Sphere. He gets a little bit of damage, no kills just yet. But Union have drawn out a lot of util here early on from M80. There's not a lot to stop an exec.
Especially Koala Noob. He can't pop up anymore with the updraft, but he can't even do that.
Dude.
There's no opportunity.
Yeah.
Cosmic Divide in his face.
And the knife forces him to back away. He can't maintain that.
This is so difficult, though. What does M80 actually have to hold this down? Nanoswarm right in their face. 40 seconds left. And there goes a quadruple swing from M80. Everyone finding theirs at the very end. Union get absolutely overwhelmed.
What a pop
Again.
flash from Nismo, by the way. As
That was
soon as
stingers.
he pops it, right? 4-man swing with stingers. It's that flash that sets them up. And EU's huge first kill towards B then kind of cuts all opportunities for Union to work back towards B or mid if they really, really wanted to. And M80, I mean, there was an idea they could fake, but I think that time you kind of just gambled the A site, which is what M80 did. And the way that Cosmic Divide is set up, I mean, it's almost like you're asking for a pop flash to come through, and that's what happened to the Union.
Again, not having someone like Askia to be able to do that big cleanup job, too, was actually quite affecting at the very end of things. Nismo getting pressured out. It's a big push from Union just to make their way out of double door. They clear the util, they clear the area.
Is he going to be able to get the player
EU?
close up? It's EU that instead finds it. Okay, that will shut down that kind of early, not drone, but like aggression and space control that the Union had.
Could have been a big opening for sure.
And on the flip side, Koala Noob's gone all the way in towards B main. They're playing kind of a full retake B setup right now. They don't have ults to get back into sight, but they will have Koala Noob in a very nice position and kind of locking these players in. Union will be forced to push aggressive towards defender spawn if they went towards B, but instead they're going back towards A.
Oh, but this is so difficult here for the Union. EU, he's posted himself over towards A main. We've seen this a couple of times from the Union, but almost never from M80.
That's
but
such
that
a great knife.
Incredible knife. Now EU's been isolated.
Look at it,
Boom.
yeah.
Now clearing, and NTK takes him down
30
instead.
seconds
And that will
left.
give them a very good post plant spot to play from as well here for the Union. That clearing will allow them to set back up in towards A main.
Waiting for the lurks now. And they should continue to do so because Askia, he's on the hunt, 36
timing.
HP. Koala Noob, how long is he going to stick around to this angle? Is he actually going to get this pick? No!
He just knows.
Askia, he's here for free. Koala Noob. What? Koala Noob? The timing is insane. The intuition is insane. So 3v3. Not a lot of util here for the Union to actually hold this down. The shocks.
Shock lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be the double shocks to really take down Koala Noob here. Koala Noob doesn't go down immediately, but it is Goo to take down his teammates instead. And the Union, despite the shock from the Stingers just the round before, they continue their win streak.
A really nice post plant. Again, like I'm just going to continue to talk about how good these post plants are from Goo and the rest of the Union. Not spraying at the spike. I love that. He's able to just focus on players swinging through the smokes. Like in that instance, Koala Noob dropping those smokes, yes, it's to cover him for the defuse, but it also creates such a disadvantaged position for the 2 players swinging. And the Union getting themselves set up in towards A main off of that first kill. Yeah, you can see Goo is fully prepared for those kind of fights. Like those smokes are forcing the players trying to fight A main and protect the spike diffuser. They have to swing through their own smoke. It gives such an advantage to Goo in that position. And this is a round that M80 must win. John QT has a lockdown. If he dies here, if he gets a kill, at least for the next round. But the Union are 2 rounds away from taking the North American Kings, which a lot of people poise as top contenders in this event, to an 0-1 record for Qualinoob, shutting down the mid lurk.
Great start.
But my God, the gamble from M80 to put instantly 5 players in rotation towards A.
John QT is in such an important position too for the rest of this round. He can pull up with the lockdown just off of the single kill, but he can hold off, of course, the lurk coming in from mid. Here comes the actual take from Union. Askia is going to be able to isolate one, and EU, he just walks right into the crosshair of Askia. Good awareness from Askia. The shots from the smoke, not able to do anything here. M80, they found themselves a bit of a gap with Qualinoob getting a kill early, but now they need to fight back, and indeed they found themselves yet another space back into the round. Xander picking up a big one, and John QT with his own spot takes down Rafa. 2v2 though. NTK takes up the back. Goo has no idea about the second player. Qualinoob, he can pop out of the smoke at any moment. Both players needing to run away from the lockdown.
There's a star on the spike as well. They've got some time. That's an insane shock lineup.
But Qualinoob is just fine. There goes the shock. They can still go for the defuse. Koala in. John QT needs to hold. John QT goes off of it. It's not on half either. If this were down to half, who knows? But Qualinoob,
Is there time?
he has just enough. He has saved M80.
0.3 seconds. My God, on 10 HP, he pulls off the clutch. And M80 must be feeling electric off a round like that. Union, what a lineup, by the way, as well. The quick intuition from Goo to set up the grab well,
Enemy down.
and then combinating that with NTK shock dart. That was just
Incredible.
an insane round between these two teams, from the entry from Askia to this 0.3 second defuse to keep M80 in this map. And there's hope for M80 in a third map here. And look at that. They are so happy to get a round like that. That meant everything to them.
Puts them back in the game. You saw their economy completely dwindling, and it has put potentially the Union on a bit of a teetering point, whether it be mentally or, of course, in the game.
Yeah.
Of course, things are still 11-11, but it's not like they've had an insane streak. It's not like their economy is fully out of the gap right now. M80 might have just not only given themselves a chance, but also a clear path back into this game.
To put this into context, this is the first time in over 3 months that a team has pushed M80 past 3 rounds, by the way. Like, no team has gotten more than 3 rounds against this M80 team. And so again, I mean, I think again, a lot of people were like, M80 are gonna dominate the Ascension, but no, teams like the Union, teams like Double O Nation from this Brazilian region have got this style that these teams are not prepared for. And M80, I think, are still taking time to adjust to that kind of play style that Union have.
Now the Union looking to pull up once again back over towards that mid side, but there is no util in front of them. Qualinoob instead has a couple of pixels ahead of him. He's able to pick away at least one of them. 2 more from M80. He did hear the owl drone. He is needing to back on out, but oh, this Hunter's Fury, it's gonna pick up his teammate. It's gonna pick up his teammate. No way.
A triple play, and Rafa swings as well. As that Hunter's Fury gets popped, he knows that Qualinoob's gonna try and make a mad dash for it. And Nismo just wasn't in a spot to peek. He was collateral damage off of the Hunter's Fury that was aimed for Koala.
Now it's a pure sprint from Xander and John QT. They were potentially looking for a better position back over towards that long side.
They have to save. Look at their economy: 100, 400, 550 credits between these two players. And a third for Nismo. Like, they just don't have the money to make an attempt here. And there's no damage that can be done to the Union regardless.
Alarm bot out.
Not even so much a head-scratching move there from the Union. Multiple times in this game I've said that the stars have aligned for the Union, and that time it was yet another one of those scenarios. The Sova Hunter's Fury looking for Qualinoob, instead finding EU. Gives Union potentially the glimpse to take down North America's best.
And this ult cycle is in such favor of the Union. 2 away from Pank's ultimate. The lockdown, Rafa 1 away from the null command.
Out.
And there's nothing here for M80. And the reason why I'm saying nothing is because they're not a team that will fight for these ult orbs, and it's harder to fight for the ult orbs if you are on the defending side of Pearl.
Don't overthink.
And look at this, I think they're looking to get Pank's ult online early. If they can get this 1 ult orb and a kill for Pank, they're in a golden position for this round.
This is the first time that we've seen John QT's util over here on B, though. Union, they might be walking straight into a trap.
I don't think so here whatsoever. I think this is M80 setting up his util because they know the lockdown's coming. You can see these 2 players have backed away already. Like, they're just going to try and layer the grav well, the smoke, and these 2 swarms to try and buy time for the lockdown. But it hasn't even come in. Like, they're not going for picks. They didn't go for it at all. They instead got Rafa. My apologies.
Oh no, Xander missing out on the first burst. Needs a couple more, and indeed he's doing it. Xander, with everything to do here for M80, he mows them down. 2 kills back for Xander, and Pank left completely on his lonesome. Again, M80 didn't even need that KJ util in the middle of sight, but that was realistically the first time that we had seen such a strong hold from M80 on this site. So many players here.
Yeah, and while I was
Recalling my bot.
waffling about this KO ultimate, or apologies, I was like theorycrafting this crazy lockdown. I forgot Pank was still 2 away, but the principle applies still, right? M80, the way they layered that util to slow down Rafa, and like they backed away, both Xander and John QT backed away so they wouldn't be affected by that null command. And that's how those swarms popped up. That's how that gravel got in and slowed down a Union push. Like the idea was still the same, just my bad, a completely different ult.
But all good. The risk was there, surely. It was just a preventative effort, of course, from M80. Now we've made it to overtime. The side swap. M80, again, here on this attacking side, had a bit more success than what we saw, of course, in that second. We saw a whole lot more from Koala Noob. Where are they trying to go early on? Is it one of those group takes? Are they trying to lurk up into that mid side once again? We don't have the radar to really tell you guys. It is more of a default, though.
And Oscar getting aggressive towards B. Maybe not this time, actually. He's just going to sit and be in an anchor.
Placing swarm grenade.
Only caught 1, I believe, here towards A main. And so they can kind of confer and, you know, take this space up. The focus is going to be towards mid. You can see these 2 players have posted up here. Both Rafa and Pank prepared for this kind of play.
Koala Noob steps in just to take away a piece of util. Turret goes down. Askia, a huge chance! But EU through the smoke catches Askia running away, and Rafa has been locked away from his holdover in the mid side. But hold on now, from behind the frag, he's able to get 1 back, but still a man advantage for M80. Watch out!
Oh my god!
Pank from behind shuts down M80. 2 players now remaining. It's the man advantage, but Koala Noob, the young gun versus the young gun.
But that 2 piece has just given so much time for Union to set back up in this kind of play.
In a perfect position. Almost.
Are they ready for the flank?
Last player standing.
Yes, they are.
30
NC
seconds
kick
left.
gets absolutely denied. Now Goo, RVN, trying to step into a 1v2 where EU has the first angle. Doesn't actually get into the interaction. EU looking up, and he re-aims back down. Goo goes down, and M80 have now find themselves
Match point.
1 round away from a map 3.
Map point for the first time on M80 side. This peak from Pank was just insane. And this was the first time we've seen the Union scrambling on their defense. Like, there's just so many scrappy interactions. Losing Askia on that site, like, they just immediately give up control towards B. And it's not a position that Union have been in before. Like, they don't normally lose back site control that easily. It's one of their key strengths on their defensive sides. And they're forced to play this really scrappy style, which is solo swings, praying that Pank can get timing. He did get timing, but it came down to a Koala Noob heroic play to win them that round. And the Union, in similar fashion to M80, again, these are 2 teams that have been incredibly dominant in their regions, are not oftentimes put in positions like this, where they have to work against the opponent and their backs are against the wall, and that's what the Union have at the moment. They were in control of this map, for sure, a couple rounds ago, and they've just lost it off of that round.
What a way to essentially lose it. I mean, of course, you had the miracle play from Pan coming out from that mid side, but M80 realistically the entire time did have their number. The early peek out coming out from Koala Noob, still nobody over towards that long side, but still keeping an eye for that interaction, still at least navigating the fact that there could be someone like NTK there. M80 did have their options covered. They find themselves back on the defensive side once again. Koala Noob with the op.
We'll see if he can have the same impact. God, I love our cinematics. We're just staring at Phoenix with a gaping mouth, man.
That's a yellow passion. Here comes M80. Koala Noob on the front side has 2 players to deal with, but that knife only picks up 1. But Koala Noob now knows that there is danger incredibly close. At least 1 player has to cross into his crosshair. Everyone else, though, here for the Union, inching their way forward, more forward into this map. 1 player over towards double door. Doesn't actually take down the util that's currently there.
No, it's certainly this duel between ASCENSION and Koala Noob that will be the deciding factor in this one.
Ooh.
But it's Rafa instead that falls.
And there's still 2 more players are behind him. Koala Noob potentially with a bit of a gift. He's scrambling, though. There's a teammate right next to him.
ASCENSION!
Koala Noob, however, does burst out of the smoke, and Nismo is right there to clean it up.
How many times has ASCENSION been in back lines like that, and how many times has he gotten a double? You expected so much from him in that position.
But finally, M80 have shut him down. NTK and Pank running for the hills. B is completely empty.
30
Pank
seconds left.
will have to try and make something happen. His teammate will have to set up for the spike. He's already set a turret down in a very interesting spot. That will be like the crossfire initiator, basically, from this point in time. And there's a lot of time for Union to set up, but they don't have crazy util setups this time around. It's only between 2 players, 2 swarms, 2 shocks. And is it enough? It's 3 players, and Koala Noob is on a heater in this round.
Just look at how much work Pank has to do here. He has to hold it all down to give NTK a chance with his shocks. Pank. He's not gonna panic, but oh my goodness, the knife certainly does not help. Recon bolt in his face. He peeks out early. Koala Noob is down. He's given his team an equal opportunity. NTK over towards long has been spotted. The spike is ticking so low. Pank does miss out on the shot, but the shocks are here, and time has run out. M80. It was a slog to make their way back into sight. And it proves in the end where time is their enemy.
And again, Union just given time to set up in these post plants. The crossfire is so smart. Again, that turret's like the first contact that gets made, and you can make swings off of that. You can drop util off of that. It was smart though here from I won't lie, the shock dart from M80 to break all the nanostorm util, but still, Pank has just been a clutch player over and over for this team. Again, an unsung hero for the Union. And they've kept us away from a 3rd map, and you can see the reactions. It's honestly kind of bleak. They know the job's not done at all. They need to sharpen up this defensive side.
The double push from the Union, though, a rare look
On
over
A,
an A main.
And they don't have the op for ASCENSION, so M80, I think, have bought this op from Koala Noob as a counter to the ASCENSION op, but there's none this time around.
Just with this pressure, though, M80, they just can't throw off this hold from the Union. Union has the info.
And the setup from the Union is to maintain this backside control, an alarm bot, a nanostorm, and a gravwell, or even a smoke if he wants to pop that all in front of this backside. Again, Union are a team that love to cause chaos, give no team time to set up their post plants. And with a team M80 that is that good in post, that's not a shot I've ever seen Koala Noob miss.
It goes wide right to Koala Noob. Again, a rare miss, and the Union actually post themselves in some pretty good positions, but look at the redirects. Rafa running back all the way over towards that mid side, making sure that there's no lurk, making sure that there's no flank. The exec from M80 is here, though. The crossfire could potentially go down, but Goo, he's completely locked into the back, and he's actually able to get 1 here. How much more can he get? Rafa has the crossfire. Goo is still looking for more. Here comes Nismo. Nismo does win out his battle. Pank is here. Same thing with Rafa. Pank around the corner, still looking for John QT. The shocks are here to try to rain down on the spike planner. But hold on a second here. ASCENSION pulling back the round, but M80, they've somehow put themselves in the advantage. But look at the redirect. That was almost perfect. ASCENSION, however, goes down through the smoke. And the
Switching
follow-up
sides.
is not there for the Union.
Match
The
point.
M80 team have crossed their way once again into map point.
A high pressure situation for M80. Like, Union are all over them in that post plant stuff. There's no space for them to get this spike down. But Nismo the one to stick it, and he's just got two phenomenal players to his left and right that are able to help him out here. And it's a miracle that M80 can get that. And you can see Nismo is, I think maybe Nismo thought they won the map.
I have never seen that in my life.
He stood up, took
What
his
was that?
took his earbuds out, his headphones off. He was that hype off around. They know that was not a round they should have won.
Yeah. The chef may be tenured, but doesn't exactly know
ASCENSION again!
proceedings. ASCENSION pulls up, does pull down one, but the most important thing is the follow-up. Hank is there to pick up another one. John QT in a pure war as he picks up one, redirecting now. Rafa down to 39 HP. This is still very possible for John QT, but does he want to fight with his teammate? No way!
Standing.
Oh! The battle was risky, and indeed the risk goes against him.
I don't think Xander got spotted by the turret, but he's certainly been hurt now.
Hank sees him, and it's so difficult here for Xander. Rafa down to 39 HP, though, gives him a chance. Hank with a couple of shots through the wall. No more flashes here for Rafa. Xander, now in a dry fight, now has a couple of angles to go, knows where Rafa is, knows where Pank is, but somehow can't find any pixels. This game of Ring Around the Rosie, this game of chipping away the clock is perfect, fundamental from the Union as they pull back yet another overtime round.
That is such a crazy long fight. Like, Union swinging 4 players into it, John QT all the way in the back, just one man that made that round even remotely possible for this M80 side. And I think overcommitting to this fight, should have waited for his teammate Xander to arrive to maybe make some kind of crunch happen, a 2-man play. But I think no matter what, given the positions of those M80 players, John QT kind of forced to fight because of how separated they were going to be. See if he could bring it to a 2 versus 1, and knowing the HP on Rafa, was willing to make a risk like that. And the final timeout used in this second map here by M80. The hype from Nismo has died down as they realize we've got a little bit more to do.
But what is the adjustment? It doesn't seem like M80 have had the wrong idea again. Neither one of these teams realistically have seemed to have the overwhelmingly wrong idea. Again, they're not exactly making big splits. They're not exactly making all of those lanes really possible for themselves. A lot of these takes are coming down to just the one single concentrated area. And again, it's just working like a battering ram for both of these teams on the attacking side.
And an op for ASCENSION. The second time we'll see it in this overtime. And he's taking it back towards B. I think an attempt to set him up again for an aggressive look. Or maybe, I think they're actually going to do the setup that they haven't gone to use yet, where they'll tuck Rafa in that cubby and ASCENSION will be the bait.
We saw that earlier on in the first half, but it didn't come to fruition. M80. Oh, walking into a contact. This is such a big contact from Goo. Everyone from the Union actually redirecting Xander in a huge 1v1, but NTK! That was a fadeaway headshot.
And I don't know how the heck he wins that fight. And now M80 on this exec will have to probably try and re-clear over towards A main if NTK doesn't get discovered.
And indeed, the Union redirecting themselves back further into their spawn to try to give them
What a flash, what a flash!
of an even chance, but Nismo shocks NTK and Pank. And now the Union, they don't have that luxury anymore. They need to fight as a team.
Gravel will buy a little bit of time. There's no shocks, there's no nade to come through to deny it though. But they're on their front door here, right on the doorstep of this retake.
Spike planted.
Huge kill from EU. Down on HP. He still takes down Goo, and now it's only 2 players remaining here for the Union. ASCENSION alongside Rafa. ASCENSION picks up a kill as Rafa goes down in the 1v1 against Nismo. A huge, huge round for Nismo. The man who opened up the entire round. And ASCENSION can't nail the close-up shot. M80 once again at map.
And a chance to close it out. Bring us to a third.
Switching sides. Match
The
point.
Union, despite having that first kill advantage, a crazy flash play from Nismo, and he knows that it's plays like that can turn the tides of an entire match, an entire series. And this double flash with no support, by the way. He's got one shock that's sent after he takes the swing. The first shock is to get him that space. The second is to maybe do a little bit of chip damage, and Nismo certainly saving the round there for M80 and keeping them in this game. As the Union back on the attacking side, we go back and forth. It's the attacking side that have been the most successful. Kwanu back on the operator, gets full B long control. And Union have found an incredible gap here, by the way. Look at the space that Pank and Rafa have been allotted.
Yeah, Rafa is clean through Art. Same thing with Pank. Clean through the mid side. But this one piece of utility, Pank does not expect. He runs right into the alarm bot. The information is taken here for M80, but it's only 2 players in the middle of this site. It is so difficult for any of these two to really be able to do anything. And Askia peeks in and picks up a big kill. John QT does get the more important trade. NTK picks up the 1, but I don't think he saw the second.
No, but he expects it. For sure he expected, and NTK loses it. There's another.
Still another one around the corner, like you mentioned. EU in a hard 1v1. Ooh, here's the bullets! And he finds John QT like a heat-sinking missile. Nismo now opening things up. 1 player around the corner. Nismo knows exactly where Pank is, but Pank has the nano swarms. He's delaying even more now. Goo running for the hills. The Hunter's Fury not hitting him. He even has the pull. Here comes Goo to pick up the kill. EU with no space. Goo only has to fight it. It's just a single bullet. Oh, and he gets it in the end. Almost looked possible there for EU to stick, but Union make it look easy.
We just have to keep on going. Like, look at this overtime. After round 24, it's only attacking rounds being won. And M80, their 3rd chance to close out this map, to push us to a 3rd, and the Union continue to fight back. These post plants are incredible from them. And Askia, again, being the difference maker. That's like the 5th time I've seen him in backside, and he's literally barreled to your forehead that gets the headshot. And the Union are certainly starting to feel the pressure. Like, it's the first time I've ever seen them yell that loud in this map.
And TK needing to back up immediately. This is very fast from M80. There goes the dash in the middle of the smoke, and that's just the moth to the flame. Pank around the corner can do a whole lot. First kill going his way. Nade taking him away, and he could just recollect with the rest of his team.
At a certain point, you have to back away. What a flash!
No way!
What a flash!
And Pank goes for 2! Pank, unbelievable! 3 kills in the round, gets a lockdown for his team. Nismo looking to do it all. Nismo picks up 1. Does he pick up the 2nd? Yes, he does! Nismo!
Not quick!
He might have just done it all for his team. John QT fully flashed, but no peek comes out from Rafa! But Rafa takes him down anyways, and Union have broken the streak. A defensive round have gone towards one of these overtime teams.
And it's an M80 switch up. That is such a gut-wrenching round for M80. And I don't know if they have the steam left to make an offensive side work. They switch up the tempo drastically in this round. But a godlike flash from Rafa to set up Pank for the most insane double that he's had in this series. Again, a hero in all aspects. He tried to stick around in the site. And thank God he decided to back away. It's the Union on match in series points. As M80 will have the operator again for Kwanu, back towards A, this time switching it up once more.
It's that slow approach. The alarm bot has been readjusted.
That's a great smoke.
Back over in the mid side, Askia just giving himself a red carpet with the smoke. There's 2 players on site here for M80. They have a whole lot of util to use, but not a lot of space. Askia already has the angle. Almost able to find a big one. That smoke is very important. Flash goes out. Oh, what is that position? No way! No way! Xander does go down immediately. But excuse me, M80. They've abandoned the site.
And Xander tried to get in that smoke. He knew the flash was coming. But up close, Pank finds it. And now M80 in a 4 versus 5. And what's the thing I've been saying? You give this Union team time to set up a post, they're guaranteed to win it, and I think they've got it here.
Askia's the roamer, and he's looking to pick away any strays. 2 players going into the back, but the nade does it all. Locks him away from fighting anyone, and Nismo gets yet another one. Things are being chipped away here for M80. It's working. The nade doesn't come out, but instead the grab roll comes out early. Rafa holds on to it at a good time, and now the Union, they start to mow over M80, and Brazil are the ones on top over North America.
Let's go!
And for the first time, we have seen an M80 team struggle a ridiculous amount. And coming into this event, a lot of people expected M80 to come out with a bang. Today, they did not have the answers. A close overtime to close out Pearl.
To say the